Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. First things first, get on Twitter and follow us because we have a great conversation all day, every day, including live in-game tweets of certain games during the week. And I give you a lot of really great insight, so get over there and follow us and get in on the conversation. That said, I went through the Bulls versus Pacers game from last night, and I want to do something a little bit different. I took plays directly out of timeouts and analyzed them to see what they're doing. From a coaching standpoint, that's when the coaches have the most control, when there's been a timeout and they can get their board out and diagram a play. And that's how you can see whether or not these teams are prepared. And it was pretty fascinating to isolate on most of those plays coming out of timeouts in this game. The Pacers start the game with a UCLA cut and then a high ball screen, but it's really the weak side down screen. The Bulls switch it. Taj is not in good position and fouls. The Bulls come down and run almost the same play with a UCLA cut, but the high post is going to do a cross diagonal screen. Watch how David West switches that and takes the pass away, gets the steal, and here come the Pacers to get an easy shot in transition. From the out of bounds, the Bulls run a very common play they love to run, which is a UCLA cut, and that turns into a staggered double screen in the weak side after a ball screen. Doesn't work initially, but because the defense was collapsed, they were able to get into the lane and get an offensive rebound and a foul. Sideline out of bounds, and the Bulls run a very basic stack like we do in 6th grade just to get the ball in, but this turns into a double ball screen on the weak side for Bellinelli. However, great defense by the Pacers to take it away, and it turns into a pick and roll. They end up getting a foul out of this. The Pacers go sideline screen and roll, and the Bulls play ice and contain it really well and then front the post again. Hand throw almost runs into the ball in its bad spacing, but they get the lob, no call on the travel, and he scores. Here's a cool play where Daquan Cook is going to watch which side Luol Deng is going to go on and then go the other way and get a weak side screen. Deng curls, gets a shot off. The Pacers go to a high post split while Paul George will screen for DJ Augustine and then cut off of that. They get a pick and pop for Hansbrough, who I guess you could say gallops to the basket, and then it gets the putback. While this looks like a play to get the ball to David West against Jimmy Butler down low, it's really a pitch and a cross screen, and that's what's going to get David West low post position in an advantage against Jimmy Butler. He backs him down, but there's Boozer with a nice double team and makes a tough shot that misses, but Daquan Cook doesn't box his man out well. They get the rebound, and they're going to get David West on the high post now, where he can go to work, and it's a little bit harder to help from that position, and he scores. The Pacers then do a little Stockton Malone style jazz set where they do a UCLA cut, and then the guard will back screen for the center. They don't get the ball down low, and it simply becomes a pick and roll out on top, and Hill hits it. I swear to God, this is the very next play. The Bulls run the exact same thing. Nate Robinson UCLA cut, then back screens for Boozer. They don't get the ball in the post, but there's the screen and roll, and Robinson slips to the basket for a layup. To start the second half, the Bulls do a nice little quick hitter for Nate Robinson, who gets a double pin down, and he comes around that screen and dribble pitch, and he gets a wide open three. Similar play for Indiana. Watch George Hill go to the corner. He'll get a down screen, and he's going to cut back door instead of coming up, but they throw the ball away and they get a steal. Later on in the third, they're going to run a horns kind of set 1-4 flat, and when two players cut across each other like this, someone should have set a screen there. As a result, they do a nice job denying the pass to Stevenson, and the offense kind of breaks down. They get a post up on Deng instead for Paul George, who can't get by him and is forced to take a tough shot. Indiana goes to a bit of a triangle looking set where they get the ball and swing it to get Paul George low post position. Hibbert will screen away for West, and there's no switch on defense. It looks as if Deng was expecting Taj to help. Same exact play to start the fourth, but instead of screening away for David West, who can shoot, they're going to do a triple down screen for George Hill, who gets wide open on a beautiful play for a three. The Bulls run a little high post triangle action where they get a UCLA cut, and then they screen the ball. And that turns into a double staggered screen for Bellinelli on the weak side, and he comes around, can't catch it cleanly. The Pacers play great defense up until the point where they foul Bellinelli. It's good to get the big man the ball at the high post because a lot of times teams will let him catch the ball there. However, when the Bulls take away every other pass, it leaves him out to dry, and he's got to try and create something off the dribble. Hibbert ain't so good at that. Down 6 at the end, the Bulls run that rudimentary stack out of bounds play just to get the ball in, and that triggers a ball screen for Bellinelli, but they don't get much out of that. The Pacers are containing really well, and all they can get is a drive by Taj Gibson that gets blocked. The Pacers up by 6 deep in the fourth quarter. Simply do a screen and roll on top and you'll see the Bulls run ice to contain it on the right side of the floor. This turns into basic motion, pass and screen away. West screens for Hill and then post up on Dang. Beautiful help by Taj Gibson and they get a missed shot and a stop. Inbounding down 7, the Bulls do a flare screen for Robinson, which I don't like because he's going away from the basket when he catches it. Not a great pass to Dang, and Dang doesn't have the footwork to get around Paul George. Down by 9, they do a nice action to the high post, and they do a two-man game. Taj with a nice fake, gets to the basket, and gets fouled. They want to go to Dang, but watch how he doesn't set his man up, doesn't rub his man off that screen, and can't get open, leaving Butler to have to burp up a tough shot fading away. So there you have it, sports fans. The next time you watch an NBA game, pay close attention to those plays right out of timeouts and out of the quarter, because that's when the coaches have the most control and you can really see if they actually run something. It was very eerie to watch the Bulls and the Pacers run the same set in back-to-back possessions. They're that similar in their coaching philosophy and styles. And when you do that, the defenses are well prepared because they know what each other are doing, and you get to see some really interesting stuff out of that. It was a bit surprising this game was so high scoring, but you can see how familiar they are with each other, and without Noah out there, it really put the Bulls at a disadvantage, and certainly without Rose. So this will be a really great matchup come the spring and come into playoff time, because I think the Bulls are really going to be able to challenge both the Pacers and the Heat and the Knicks going into the playoffs. Well, thanks for joining us, sports fans. Don't miss lots more coming up this week, and don't forget, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?